At a platform, it's important to also listen. For a man in Urbandale, he's reached people around the world from his podcast mic, but he's also learned as well along the way. Everyone's story is different, but he's finding the similarities are building a bridge.
And it just resonated. Yeah, you're out late and you're with David. It was
In 2024,
kind of fun.
there's a sea of podcasts. David Cotton.
This is something I know there's men out there like me who are trying to figure out themselves. They feel alone, they feel shame, they feel guilt.
He's a bit different, but behind the mic at his home in Urbandale.
I have a blackout curtain. If I just know enough and then let them tell the story.
He's helping share similar stories from around the world.
Well, Charlie, welcome today. I'm so glad that you're joining me today from Mexico.
Similar stories David can relate to as a now out and proud gay man in his mid-60s. To get here wasn't an easy journey for him.
29 years, almost 30.
David dedicated nearly half his life to serving our country in the Air Force.
Yeah, I was a colonel at the time, and so this is the Saudi colonel rank, and we wore that on our pockets. This time I was a brigadier general. Someone went and engaged with the 4 living former presidents, and I received letters of congratulations from each of them as well. I mean, it's my story on a wall, and then I look at this too, like the kids were born here. You know, my children were born in Germany.
And through those years was married and had kids. Then after retiring from the military and corporate jobs, David took a life-changing step in 2019.
I got to the point where I got so depressed trying to figure out what was going on in my head and realized the only way to relieve that depression was to look in a mirror when I was on a business trip, actually, in a hotel room and just say, David Cotton, you're a gay man. And just to feel that wash away, but at the same time, all this fear pops up. What's that mean? What's that mean to this family I love, for this wife that I have and adore? Where does that go? What happens to that?
Those questions, the fears, were common among the men he's featured on the Out Late with David podcast. But through honest and vulnerable conversations, bridges were built among David and his guests.
They realize they're not alone. They're not different. They're just who they are. We even had one guest say it saved his life.
Realizations and learning, that's still common for David, even though he's asking the questions.
So I think I've come out and I think I've figured it out. But after every guest, I will have some like aha moment of some bit of their story pique something in my mind, which helps me better understand myself.
His hope is that as the Out Late stories spread, there's generational acceptance even within the LGBTQ plus community.
When I talk to younger people, it's like coming out late. That's like I didn't ever really come out. I'm just myself. That's the way to be, to go forward. But there's a whole bunch of generations before them that was not the case. So for us, it's a huge lift to accept who we are and go forward. You know, the story of my life, these flags represent.
Every part of his life has helped David become the person and life coach he is today, and has brought him the internal peace he hopes to share.
After a successful military and corporate career, this is my bliss. It just took me 40 years to figure out what my bliss is.
It can be rough, but it also can be the most amazing thing you ever do in your life.
We thank Charlie for his courage in sharing his story and invite you to join us next time on Out Late with David.
In Urbandale, Shanu Herb, Local 5 News.
David is a life coach now. If you want to listen to his podcast, Out Late with David, you can find it across all different platforms, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'll also be sure to have a link to his life coach and podcast websites at weareiowa.com.